Thursday.
Thursday, yeah, man, Thursday,
I
end of
just
the
had to
week.
cut you off.
We are going to be talking about Web3 music and anime in this show, hopefully with Hitmaker or Hitmarker. It's HT. I've never
Maker,
said it. I've never
hit
said it out
maker.
loud. You know those things you don't really like know until you say out loud. You know,
Well, I
like
mean, when it comes to music, it's Hitmaker. I know a producer
okay.
called Hitmaker. I don't know if he's involved with any of this, but we'll see.
See, you were like an eth person, and I was like an eth person. But yeah,
This
but
guy, you stay
we started saying
boasting.
it. We started saying it out loud a lot, and it's like, oh, that makes sense. But
I
you
was
just see
never
it
an
over.
F person, bro.
You just see it over text, and you don't really know how to say it. So it
That's
makes sense.
Trevor is an F person,
Trevor's
man.
an eth person.
Yeah, the people
Trevor's
who that
BTC only.
yeah, that's why he calls it F, man. He does it just to rub it in. He does it on purpose.
These
But
shows are
yeah,
brought to you by Ninjalerts. Ninjalerts is an NFT that grants you lifetime access to the app that allows you to track your favorite whales, influencers, and friends. Anytime they mint, buy, or sell something, it actually made me some money last night, Ken. A little bit, very,
really,
very little bit. Yeah.
really, you made
Yeah.
money. Hold on, let me give
I
you a
was,
little
I
bit
was
of.
yeah, it was very little bit. I'll get into
Okay.
that in a second. We also, to one of our subscribers, if you're watching this, you're not subscribed to the channel, we give away a 6-month subscription. It's a $450 value. If you are subscribed to the channel and you go to Ninja Alert, it's going to pop up right under me, Ninja Alerts /giveaways, and just fill that out, and it'll be eligible. We give one away a month, so make sure to do that. Yeah, man. So I did a flip last night, and I learned something. That one thing I don't like about Blur, bro. It is so hard to see your transactions. Like you
Is it?
basically can't. Yeah, you like basically can't see your. I can't find a way to see your transactions because like I made a flip on Blur and I was like, oh, that's cool. Like on OpenSea, you go to like transactions and it just shows you bought it for this, you sold it for that. Well, OpenSea doesn't show. It just shows you transferred, so it doesn't show the prices that you bought it for, the prices that you sold it for when you do it on Blur. And then if you go to Blur, it doesn't show it anywhere on that. And then on Etherscan, it's like separated transactions. So it's really hard to just like, how people like screenshot their flips or whatever. Like you can't do that. Like you have to like go to Etherscan, see what you bought it for, and then go to that other transaction and see what you sold it for. So I do think that's like my like one critique on Blur that I've seen so far is just being able to see like better transactions. I didn't even know I sold it, dude. It didn't really give me like a solid ping. Like I just noticed that it wasn't in my portfolio, so I was like, "Oh, I guess that sold."
You usually get a
Like,
ping when your stuff sell?
on OpenSea, I do, yeah.
Oh, like an
And
email?
yeah,
Or
well, I got an email, but also just like I guess I don't get a ping, but like it's just so easy to tell that it's sold.
oh really?
Whereas this one, I had to like work to find out that it sold, and I
You had to
even
work,
try to
huh?
remember
What you had to do?
whatever I looked
What you
for.
had to do?
I had to go to
What work
Etherscan
you had to
and
do?
go through all the transactions. It was
All the
annoying.
trends, damn, it was
Yeah,
that hard?
well,
Couldn't you
because like
just
I
look
didn't.
at your activities on like OpenSea or something?
That's what I was saying. It doesn't show. It just shows transfers. It doesn't show prices.
Yeah,
It doesn't show what you
yeah,
bought
it
it for or sold
doesn't.
it for.
Yeah, but you do see that it transferred. Then you could just deduce that, oh, I have a little bit more ETH now, so that kind of that's how
I
I
didn't know
usually
how
do
much
it.
ETH I had to start with.
Oh
I didn't realize.
damn, you're like that. I ain't
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
I
yeah.
ain't know Chris was like that air horn. I ain't know you had that
Nah.
much ETH. You can't even tell
Yeah,
how
that's what
much
it
you
is.
have, how much you don't have. You're like
Yeah,
Elon
that's what
Musk
it
over
is.
here,
Yeah.
bro.
No,
Let that sink in, bro.
I segment my my portfolio. Like I have like trading ETH that I don't really pay attention to, and then I have like ETH that I hold for long, and then I have like other stuff. So like this is in my trading account, so I don't really keep track of how much I have in my trading account.
Oh, okay, okay. Don't keep track. Just come, easy go, right, Chris?
Easy come, easy go. But it was on
Before.
oh, you good?
Oh, go ahead. It was
I
on
was
what?
gonna say it was thanks to Ninja Alerts because like I found real quick. I'll just show what it was and like how my thought process with Ninja Alerts. It was this Voxbot blind Vox. And I just saw a bunch. It's not even going to show now. Before all these people were jumping in, there's a lot of people jumping in at 0.01. So I was like, a lot of like reputable people like the Monkey 3 ETH and like Bublino. I don't know, people that like I see make good plays. And so I bought at 0.01 and like literally within like an hour I sold it for 0.035. So it was like a small flip, but it was over a 2x and it was like
103, huh?
immediate.
Eat well. Eat well. Hold
Yeah,
on, let
man,
me
eat
give you
well.
a, let me give
It was
you
It was, it's funny though, is it was the one time this week I didn't go hard in something. Like those Reddit things, I bought like 5 of
Oh
them.
yeah.
About
Oh yeah.
and this one I was like, I've been getting burned too much. I'm just gonna buy one, and of course it like over 2x.
Yeah, yeah, that's what happened. That's how this game goes, man. Before we do have a special guest today. Before we bring him up, we just have a few things to talk about. One being the DC. Daniel kind of mentioned it. You talked about it yesterday. Your alpha, the DC comics that
Yeah,
dropped. What happened with that?
bro. I don't even know. I saw K Money in the chat, which was super random, asking about it because like a bunch of people got kicked from like there's like a queue system, and a bunch of people got kicked
Hmm.
for no reason. There was no clear instructions. Basically, whoever got it got lucky that they got through the queue system. I think it did a good
Really?
job. I think it did a good job at deflecting bots though, because I did see a lot of people I know hit that aren't using bots. So I
Mm.
think it did a good job at like kind of doing that. But of course, you're taking out innocent people in the process, and that's kind of what happened. The prices are flying, but
Innocent people, huh?
I think the floor on the most rare one was like 3,500 last I checked, but it's hard to check
Oh,
right now.
nice. You didn't
Yeah.
get none? You
Nah, I
or
just wasted
Daniel?
2 hours of my life. Yeah. Daniel didn't even
Yes.
try, but yeah, just wasted that time.
Smart guy. uh yeah, one last thing before we get to our special guest. Today we just got breaking news that Looks Rare has gone to zero royalties, 0% royalties. So
Boo.
that's every other marketplace that's not number one. So every other marketplace but OpenSea is going the zero royalty route. It's crazy, but here we are. I mean, that just gives us more support towards OpenSea, right? Isn't that isn't that what it's looking like? Like we hated OpenSea and we needed OpenSea to get some competition, and now we have a flood of competition, and it's kind of taking the power away from the artists, the creators. So we're back to OpenSea, man. OpenSea, we're sorry, bro.
I
We love
always
you
like
guys.
OpenSea, bro. Especially if they
Yeah,
sent me
we
that airdrop.
airdrop. Oh,
Yeah,
airdrop
like
this century.
if they just like come out with an airdrop.
Oh, you said if. Oh, I thought you said they
Yeah.
did.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
But right now my loyalty is to Blur because I'm working towards that airdrop number 2.
Yeah, Looks Rare sent me an airdrop, so it's about time I go start selling stuff, selling tokens.
Yeah, man.
So you ready for our guest, or you want to talk more about Looks Rare?
Yeah, no, we'll go and pull them up. We got Boss Brand representing Hitmaker today. So
Hit marker.
welcome to the show, man. What's up, Boss
Hey,
Brand?
round of applause. Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome.
What's going
Welcome to
on,
the show,
guys?
man.
How's
Oh,
it
he
going?
got the mic and everything, bro.
Yeah, you
What's
got it,
going
bro.
on
You got
over
another
there?
mic in the background too.
I
You
know
ready?
we're ready. Let me move this Tide thing in the background. That's a bit weird to me. This is no free
He
advertisement. No
does
free
this with a
advertisement.
chair. Damn, that's a nice chair right there, Chris. I need
Nice
a new chair.
everything,
This
bro. He's got his
I
he's got his
know.
100-inch TV in the background. Some nice
Jeez.
plants, like some aesthetic
There you
chairs.
go. There you go.
Yeah, my chair is over here squeaking and stuff, and you over there with some nice. Oh man, this nice. Do you record music? You're a producer?
I don't record music, but we do a lot of office work out of my downstairs.
A lot of Zoom meetings, huh?
A lot of Zoom meetings. So usually when there's more background, I try to keep it as clean. But I assumed it would be truncated today, so I was like, I'm just gonna leave. I'm gonna leave stuff all over the place today.
How's
Oh
this?
no!
How's that?
I had a feeling that would happen. I had a feeling that would happen. Oh gosh, you guys done got me.
Okay, so let's just start off before we go into the hit marker. I mean, Chris, why you got me calling it hit marker, man?
Bro,
Hit maker.
That wasn't me, dude.
That was you, bro. How did you, boss brand? How did you get into NFTs? Like, what's your journey like?
Yeah, I mean it's definitely an interesting one. Before Web3 and NFTs, I was working a pretty mixed bag of jobs. My first job was actually at Amazon, the the Jeff Bezos company. I worked in finance and engineering there in cloud computing.
Really?
Yeah,
Nice.
so it's like mad boring, but at the time, cloud computing was the thing that was super cool and super hot. And from there, I said, okay, I really enjoy what I do, but man, I got to get closer to entertainment, music, fashion, whatever it is to get closer. And so then I worked at a company called Goat Group. I don't know if either of you are from LA, but Goat Group is
I used to live there.
Oh, okay, yeah, exactly. So Goat Group is the biggest fashion platform in America, and they sell basically Adidas, Nike, Air Jordan, Yeezys, Balenciaga, Gucci, like at scale. And so I was
Mhm.
working at this company, basically building data models to help these big brands, sell sneakers and clothing. And then from there, I went to the music industry and was very fortunate to work at this agency that actually made the first record go viral on an app called Musically, which is actually now TikTok. And
Really?
yeah, so that company was responsible for the first major record on TikTok. And, we were fortunate to work with Doja Cat, Drake, Post Malone, Tory Lane, Sweetie, and so many incredible artists in a very short period of time. And then BTS, which is the K-pop group
Yes.
from Korea,
Korea.
they had their moment on Billboard. I don't know if anyone remembers that, but they did a Billboard performance. They got a little snubbed by Billboard. And Twitter went into a frenzy. And I'm not Korean by any means, but I said, holy crap, this K-pop thing is going to really have a moment this year. And so I went to go work at this really big South
Real
Korean.
real quick. Sorry to cut you off. What year was this year?
That was top 20, and probably end top mid of 2020, I want to say. So like
Okay.
right
Okay.
during
Cool.
COVID. Um,
Okay.
right during COVID, I joined the South Korean content startup. It was super well funded. Scooter Braun invested into it. The same people that invested into Coinbase invested into it. So basically, it was a company that was making podcast content around K-pop go viral on the internet. And so I went to go lead this startup, and it was run by this really big K-pop artist and his brothers, who are awesome dudes. And I went there, did a lot of work with K-pop music, podcast, and digital content. And then, NFTs really went mainstream in 2021. And I said, holy crap, like there's an opportunity here. I lost a ton of money really quickly. I'm not even going to front like that, right? Like
On what? On what though?
buying and selling and
What's your
buying and
first
selling.
NFT?
My first NFT was, it was that project that partnered with the Sacramento Kings, Crypto Maury's.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Maury's.
And I
Oh,
bought
those are pretty
Maury's
cool.
they're dope, but I bought them at the peak, man. I bought it at like
Ah,
1.288
ah,
and just
ah.
after that, right?
Okay,
So
I
I
see.
lost I lost a lot of money really quickly on a lot of different projects, but I learned a lot very quickly. And then
Mhm.
I met my co-founder. His name's Calvin. He's a 10-year crypto veteran. He's been
Mm.
mining for crypto and different coins for the better part of a decade. And he really taught me the ropes of everything, let me into his community called Lucky Zeros. And then he brought me on board as a co-founder to his Web3 IP studio called Purebase. And together we really, navigated the waters of helping big brands and corporations navigate through Web3. And then in reverse, we were really helping different projects across protocols, Binance, Smart Chain, and Polygon and Flow, basically launch projects, different aspects of their NFT projects on those different chains. So that's sort of my journey, and that's sort of how I ended up in Web3 and NFTs.
Oh, nice. That's a very good journey. I did hear we do take a little bit of tangent off in the show. I'm usually the one that,
No,
that
no
takes
sweat with me,
tangents
man. We
off.
can go. We can go for hours.
Okay, cool. You mentioned Balenciaga, Kanye West. How do you feel about what's going on right now with Yeah?
Dude, I was watching DJ Khaled interview, and he always goes, "It breaks my heart."
Oh no! I just heard it in my head when you
It,
said it just like that.
it breaks my heart, and it really does, man. Because Kanye, and I'll answer how I feel about it. Because Kanye's
Mhm.
inspired, like so many, I think Gen Z and millennials from a creative perspective, right? He was the
Mhm.
original guy to put on the 808 in hip hop. He was one of the
Oh, I
guys,
remember those.
right? Like he
Yeah,
put on the 808 as a viral sound in hip hop. Like that's mind numbing to think about.
it's one of
He
my favorite albums right there. 808s and
808 and
Heartbreak.
Heartbreaks, right? I mean, dude,
Mhm.
and he ushered in probably the last decade of fashion in terms of streetwear, in terms of street fashion meeting luxury fashion. Um, and it's sad to see that like he's just not going about this the right way, right? Like I watched recently, I rewatched his interview with forgetting his name. It's the
Lex.
Russian Lex, and it
Yes.
so clearly demonstrates how he's coming at this from the wrong place. Lex is even being like, look, the guys that are harming you and the guys that are doing wrong to you happen to be Jewish, but they're people. Like you can't just, bucket all of that into one generalization. And I mean, it sucks that this is the way that Kanye and his legacy goes, man. But yeah, you hate to see it, but I can't, as a person, I mean, he's not going about this the right way. He's saying the wrong things. And if he genuinely believes that, I think there's something wrong there for sure. How about you guys? What do you guys think about it all?
Me personally, I think he was doing it all just to get out of Adidas deal. So he was trying to. It's kind of tough because he was trying to get out. I heard about the deal, and it's pretty much. I would think he would be a little bit smarter because he complained about his previous deals, and then I thought Adidas deal solved all those issues, but it's pretty bad the deal he got with Adidas. So I think he was going after the Jewish community just to basically get out. Like they even said he was showing porn to the executives at Adidas. So he was trying to do whatever he could to get out of that deal somehow, and he finally got what he wished for. The only thing is that there's a lot of collateral. Like he lost everything. He lost the CAA, he lost Balenciaga, he lost his JP Morgan Chase, he lost his bank account. Like he lost a lot doing this. He even lost his that little player he created. Remember the
Player.
yeah, he lost that as well. So he lost everything. So I'm guessing Kanye West is going to disappear for maybe a year or two and find themselves and then come back, apologize. We're all going to take him back. We're all going to take him back. We always do. That's Kanye. That's yeah. So
That's how it works,
but
man. Yeah, it's the cycle.
yeah, pretty much. Chris, how do you feel, man? Are you watching this at all or do you not? You don't care. You just want your NFTs, huh?
Nah, man, I care. I've just been so busy, bro. It's like work, kids, NFTs, content, repeat. So like as far as like news goes, specifically news revolving around celebrities, I am like out the loop. I used to try. I used to really try to keep track of and tabs on everything, but like right now, I just don't have time. So I'm assuming he did something racist to Jewish people, or I don't. I'm trying to pick up what's going on through your conversation.
Yeah, he's basically saying everything about calling all the media Jewish media. They have an agenda. So he's basically appealing to the alt-right right about now. And his plan, in my opinion, his plan is to get out of all the deals he had on deck. So now they all dropped him. So now he could start over. Now, I think he hated Adidas because they were basically stealing his designs and just undercutting them. So he makes his Yeezys sells out instantly, and then there's a resale going on. But then Adidas just basically copy the design and just have it for a cheaper price, which I believe what that was Kanye's vision, was to sell his stuff for cheap, like real cheap. But Adidas pretty much undercut him with his own design style. So that's why he wanted out. He was complaining about that. And he was doing whatever he said was going DEFCON 3 on Jews. So he was really trying to get out of. He lost his lawyer too because his lawyer is Jewish. So he was really trying to do everything he could to be hated, and it worked. I don't know if it was a good thing, but
if it had anything to do with Puma, I might have kept track, because I'm holding those NFTs. But it doesn't affect my bag, so it's it's whatever. I'm sure
I
it's
love
fine.
that, man. I love that. It's so genuine.
Yeah, that's Chris, man. He loves his NFTs. So Boss Brand, let's move on a little bit more. Tell us how you guys started Hitmakers. Like, how was the idea? How did you guys get together? Like, what was the whole thought process behind it?
Yeah. Hitmaker, the team, we got together through the music industry mostly. I met a lot of the different core team members, working in and around K-pop and in and around the music industry. And so I brought on a team that was basically equally as capable in Web 2 as they were in Web 3. And that was a huge thing for us. The project itself actually was inspired by a studio session, and I have a little story for it. So I was in the studio with a producer and just a developing artist, and I didn't expect much from the studio session. I'll be honest with you, right? Like it was like 10 at night. We had just started. I was in a food coma. I was so tired. I actually took a nap during that studio session. So there was a couch in the back, and I was asleep on the couch, and I think I slept for like 4 or 5 hours, and then I woke up and they're playing the demo that they had just created, and it has the gnarliest guitar in it, and it was just the coolest sound. I got chills, I got goosebumps listening to that song. And so I was so excited. It was like 3, 4 in the morning at that point. I call my co-founder, the 10-year crypto vet. His name's Calvin, and I call Calvin. I said, "Where are you? I need to show you this demo we just made." And so I drive across town, about an hour to go see him, and we're sitting on this couch. And we typically meet at this hotel, the Marriott Bonvoy. For whatever reason, whatever city we're in, there's a Marriott Bonvoy that's very easily accessed. And so we met at a Marriott Bonvoy. We were sitting on this couch, and I'm playing the record for him. And he is not a music guy by any means, right? Like, he is totally a tech guy in every sense of the word. Like, he couldn't tell you what a hip hop song is from a rap song, right? Like, he just is a tech guy. And he kind of stops me after listening to the song and looks me in the eyes and he goes, "Dude, like, whoever made that record is an absolute hit maker." And in that moment, we both knew, we're like, that has to be the name of the music project that we're gonna do. Um, and as we thought about it more and more and more, right, I think there were two options for us to think about, right? The first option was, if we do a music project, or if we do any project in Web3, do we do, just music? And by that, I mean, do we just take a song and we mint it as an NFT, and then holders mint the song and then they take, upside in the royalties? Or do we do something around music IP, right? Do we launch a music Web3, animated thing? And when we looked at that decision, the framework looked like this, right? If we do just IP, there are tons of projects like Doodles and Azuki that have done it at the highest level. Like, that's the ceiling, right? And the stick of comparison is already there. If you're not Azuki, if you're not at that level, you're not in the top, you're not top brass. Conversely, on the music side, the same thing goes, right? You can own, there is already companies like Sound Mint, Sound XYZ, Block Tones that was already minting just straight music. And for us, the really interesting thing was, like, let's take a page out of just like being a creative, right? You can't have music without a visual language, right? You can't have just audio without visual storytelling. And so for us, we decided to combine both, anime music IP in addition to original music with some amazing producers. And so we sort of landed on this hybrid model for Hitmaker of, like, let's go build a story, let's go build a manga, let's go build an anime, let that story be around music, and then let's go make original music and recruit some incredible producers to come in and partner with us on this project to make amazing music together. So that's sort of how the project, the name, and the thesis came to be.
Nice. Do you so is it the music, is it similar to more K-pop, or what would be the genre of the music?
Yeah. So the producer, the music, the type of genres we have is very uh, representative of the producers we brought on board. So the first producer actually comes from Ariana Grande's team. He just recently got Grammy nominated for Off the Wall or Off the Grid. I can't remember the title of the song, but it's with Ariana Grande featuring The Weeknd. And he produced that song. And he also has recently produced and written some of the biggest songs recently from the girl groups in K-pop. The second producer is actually, I met some guy from Japan the other day, and I told him what the name of the producer, and he goes, "Oh my God, that guy is like one of the most legendary producers in Japan." And to me, he's just my friend. And so I never would call him that. And so this guy, legendary producer from Japan, 125 number one records. And that's an incredible feat. And he
Dang,
really
that's
is
crazy.
responsible. Yeah, no, it's insane. And he's really responsible for some of the biggest anime theme songs and the biggest J-pop songs over the last 2 decades. And then the
Any
third
that would
producer,
any that we would recognize, like, as far as the anime theme
yeah,
songs go?
I mean, I'll send you the Wikipedia. You'll probably
Okay.
go like scroll through it and be like, I know this song, I know this song, I know this song, I
Yeah.
know this song.
Not like any the actual animes that
Yes,
we would know.
Inuyasha.
Do you know?
Are you guys familiar with that one?
I'm not. No. I am I'm I'm like surface level anime, I guess, like Sword Art Online. I'm literally just finishing One Punch Man, which is like a really stupid,
Okay, got it, got it.
obviously like Naruto, Dragon Ball Z. I don't even know if you consider that, but like I watch a few Parasite and stuff like that. But I'm like surface level anime. So
Got it. He's producing the theme song for the the biggest anime right now for their upcoming season. So if you kind of catch my drift, it's one of the biggest animes in circulation right now from the
Oh,
modern
heck
era
yeah.
of anime. So he's producing that theme song right now. But I'll send you the list of his credits. I mean, he's really responsible for some of the biggest records from that industry. So we're really thankful to have him. And then the third producer is actually, it's crazy for me to say this out loud. It's actually Frank Ocean's executive producer.
What?
Really?
Yeah, so he got 2 Grammys for Channel Orange. He created Blonde with Frank Ocean, and then he's
Nice.
created records with like Alicia Keys and Sam Smith and John Legend and so many other artists. But so then when you look at the producers holistically, right? You have pop, very 808 trap sound. You have R&B from Frank. You have Japanese theme song. And for us, our music is very much the same, right? We have a K-pop trap song, we have a pop song, we have an R&B song, and we have a anime Japanese theme song. All the songs are in English, but the genres are so diverse.
Cool, man. So where does all of this integrate with NFTs?
Absolutely. So the holders will be minting, the holders will be essentially minting an anime poster as the off mint, right? It's not a PFP project, and essentially on every mint we are releasing one of the singles from the EP onto streaming services, pushing the song like a typical streaming release, right? It's going to Spotify playlisting, TikTok viral campaign, the whole 9 yards on the music. And each poster that is being minted shows off some number or a single digit number of the characters from the anime. And each of the characters from the anime are either embodied by or inspired or voiced by the producers that I mentioned, or developing artists. And so that's essentially where this tie-in comes in, right? You as a holder are minting an anime poster. If you hold that poster in your wallet for a certain number of days, you can then have the option to burn the poster and then redeem a one-of-one hand-drawn PFP from our in-house art team. A single is being released to Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, wherever you get your music on the day of mint. And then we're going to be leading into sort of utility, which is like live events, community driven artist discovery and so on there. So it's a very sort of cyclical cycle of music meets IP meets community.
Yeah, man, that's absolutely awesome. I do have the Twitter popped up right here. I can go ahead and bring it up for a second.
Oh, sweet.
Oh man, Chris, is that dark mode on your Twitter? That looks weird
I
on
always
you.
use dark mode.
That looks weird on you, bro. You never use dark mode on
Bro,
Twitter.
what are you talking about? I use
You only
I use dark mode for everything. Anyways, this is
Bizarro World.
this is Hitmaker's Twitter. I'm assuming there'd be sound here, but I don't have it connected right now. I feel like I had a question. So if they own the NFT, they have access to the song, can they use it? Like say if I wanted to use it in my content, like as like an intro, and I own the NFT, do I have the rights to that?
Yeah. So essentially, if you're asking if there's a license connected to the smart contract for the holders, for this first phase of the NFT drop, because there's very gray area guidance in terms of how music are treated as or as not a security, we're erring on the side of caution and from that perspective. But we own, in partnership with the producers, all the masters to all the songs. So we want the community to be able to use the songs and whatever they want to do. I was at a meeting yesterday and I met this kid, and he was showing me he is hand drawn. He's 23 years old and he's been hand drawing anime since he was like a teenager. And he was like, dude, I love the music. Is it cool if I were to use parts of it for a theme song? And I was like, yeah, dude, absolutely. Like I'm the owner now. Like I get to decide what's fair and not fair. And so 100%, right? Like, while it's not baked into the smart contract, there's a mechanism that we'll be deploying that allows our community to essentially leverage the music that we're releasing. And yeah, I guess the big reason why we're not just putting it straight into the smart contract is really like for music NFTs, there is such a gray area by the SEC, whether a song or a license that accrues revenue is or is not a sort of, categorized as a security. So we're just erring on the side of caution there. But because we own the masters, we basically have carte blanche to do whatever we want with them.
Yeah, that makes sense. I look at it from like a content perspective. Like I obviously make content here in my own content, and I always try to look for like royalty-free music or music that's not going to flag me. And I do know that some are trying to like integrate this into NFTs, but I know it also gets kind of iffy, and I think that's the big thing is figuring out how to do music NFTs the right way. You know, I'm sure that's hard to navigate.
Of course, of course. I mean, I think we know we have some pretty good lawyers, and so they've been giving us some pretty good guidance. But I think what we are waiting for is honestly for someone that's uber rich and way more wealthy than us to go fight that legal battle first, go then have that really set the stage for what the regulations and legal ramifications are, and then we'll follow suit.
Mm. Have you heard of Royal.io?
Yes, Blau's company. Yes,
Yes. Yes, they have that model where they give residuals to the holders of certain tokens for certain music, and I
correct,
think it pays out in USDC
correct.
or in the Polygon network. I think.
Yeah, and the thing, and I guess to talk about that real quickly, in light of in sort of in place of that, instead of giving holders the royalties directly, where whether it's USDC or ETH, and that can be a little bit murky for us, I really sat long and hard and thought about how do we take that same proportion of revenue and allow the holders to dictate where that money goes. And so, one of the main aspects of our utility is what I call a community driven A&R. And so we're going to be taking a percentage of all the NFT sales, royalties, music sales, licensing, merchandise, live shows, and rolling it into a community DAO. And what this DAO is going to do is this DAO is going to be governed by all of the NFT holders from our collection. And we really want that DAO to be used to allow the community to be part of the artist discovery process with us. And what I mean by that, right, is, the best case for me is this. The community then goes and discovers some developing artist on SoundCloud or Spotify or YouTube or Apple Music. They put together a case around that artist and say, hey, look, we want to deploy $50,000 on XXX artists that we found. We want to spend $20K on an album, $10K on a music video, and $20K on marketing. And we want to partner them with Hitmaker so that we can make all that happen. To me, that is the truest form of community integration into the artist, the A&R process, right? Discovering and signing artists. And to me, the same amount of proportion of revenue that would have gone to the holder is now going to a DAO that the holders essentially get to govern how that DAO is used. And so to me, that is such an interesting form of music and artist discovery. And to date, from our Discord community, I mean, I've discovered some insane music. I mean, Vietnamese R&B, French drill, UK grime, Afro
Oh
beats.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
it
yeah.
it,
Those
it
are some
really
nice music right there.
it spans the globe, man. And it's so cool that our communities, like, I want that artistry from those areas around the world where I'm not privy to. And I really want the community to be bought into that process.
Oh, cool. So, you did say there's some things you guys are gonna do with the royalties that come back. So, the last couple of weeks, zero royalties has been like the conversation in this space. Like we just mentioned earlier today, that Luxrare has gone with the zero royalty model. X2Y2 Ben did that. Magic Eden from the Solana side also did that. That seems to be the move for every other number two, number three, number four marketplace in the spot. Like, how do you feel about that? How does that affect you if you're dependent on the royalties to fund the DAO and do all these other stuff?
Yeah, that's a great question. For us, I'm a boring business guy at heart, and for me, I would never run a business just on the straight backs of royalties, right? It's so volatile and it's so unreliable. I think it's a nice to have, but I would never add that as like a, hey, here's a guaranteed XXX hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars from royalties into a P&L. Like I just don't think you can predict that, right? By some dumb stroke of luck, you can end up with $20 million in royalties. By that same opposite dumb stroke of luck, you can end up with $5 in royalties. And for us, right, like that's not something we're going to be relying on in terms of just, revenue to keep the lights on. And I think royalties is up to the business, right? If you're running a business and you're relying on royalties, I think you're doing something a little wrong, right? I don't think there are very many business models where you can reliably let the market dictate the make or break of what you're doing. And conversely, right, like if you have the right model, and maybe I just haven't thought about it hard enough, maybe there is something that makes sense there, where luck is not a huge factor, and market making is not a huge factor. But yeah, for us, the DAO is going to be covered by revenue across the board for Hitmaker. So that includes the NFT sale, that includes royalties, whatever that might be, that includes music revenue, that includes licensing from the music, that includes, brand partnerships, and brand deals that we'll do. So it really spans the board. And royalties is such an interesting thing for me. I would never build a business that's predicated around royalties driving a meaningful percentage of my overall revenue.
Oh, nice. So you guys are dropping a four song EP when
Yes.
the mint happens. Tell me a little bit more about that. Who are gonna be the producers? Like, what's the song gonna be like? Like, what could we expect?
Absolutely. The producers are three producers that I mentioned. So it's Frank Ocean's executive producer, one of the producers from Ariana Grande's team, and the most legendary producer from Japan that does anime theme songs. We are going to release one song from the EP per phase of the release. So we have 3 phases. So that means we'll do 3 songs, one song per phase, and then we have a fourth bonus song with all of the producers and all the artists on that credit. And so the first song that we'll be releasing, is going to go up to streaming services, and I'm going to treat it like a traditional music release, right? I want to give it the 60 day push. So, viral TikTok campaign, music marketing, playlisting, UGC content, right? Like the whole 9 yards of what a typical single gets in the music industry, I want to give to the singles for Hitmaker. And so that's going to be extremely exciting for us. I mean, I've released a lot of music for a lot of artists, and I have had quite a bit of success doing it, and so I'm very excited to really do that with our own music that we own.
Do you have connections for? Because you mentioned playlisting. That's very, very, very important in music these days. Do you have any connections with, like, say, Spotify, Apple, Pandora, or any of these major streaming services to get you playlisted?
Bro, I haven't heard of Pandora in years.
I was just
so
gonna say
this-
the same thing.
It's still
this brought
around,
me
bro.
back.
It's still there. It's still.
Oh, that was great. Yeah, dude, we have a lot of partners that we actually have been just keeping close to our chest. We haven't announced yet, from the music side of things, that will be able to unlock all of that for us, or have been unlocking that for us, as we've built this project. And like you said, right, playlisting is like, it's gatekeeping in like a weird way, right? Like you have to know the
Yeah.
guy that owns the playlist and stuff, and that business is just straight relationships, right? Do you know the guy that knows the guy? And so
Exactly.
yeah, and so the partnerships we have in place will really allow us to get into the conversations with the right people that govern playlists across streaming platforms around the world. So very thankful that we have those partners on board. Those partners will start to be announced as we really cycle up to our December mint, though.
Oh, nice, nice. It's So you said it's December mint. So in about a month or so, do you have prices? Do you have more details about that?
Yeah, of course. December mint. So within the first or second week of December, we will be minting the first phase of 3,000 NFTs in December. Again, they're anime posters that can be held and then redeemed for a one-of-one hand-drawn PFP. The pricing is going to be determined closer to the mint date. Right now, just the price is so volatile on ETH. Like if I were to have set a price last week, that would be significantly cheaper than what ETH price was yesterday, right? Like it just randomly ran up past 1,500 for some reason. So I'm a bit cautious about setting a price too far out. But I will say this, right? The price will be less than an ETH, but it will be definitely more than $200. And the reason for that is because it's 2 things, really, right? The first thing is I really want to protect this project against the average speculative flipper, right? I don't want someone that has 50 to $150 to be able to just buy and sell in and out of the project. Like I think,
Oh, okay. Okay.
yeah.
I thought you was gonna say from, because this show, like, the whales that be watching this, they
Oh, no.
they be flipping.
No. It's more for the flipper, right? The average person that's in Web3 to take the spread that you see in an NFT over 4 hours, right? Like to me, like go do that on
Mm.
another project. Don't do it on mine. So for us, the price will be a bit higher for that reason. The second reason is, I think we're one of the few projects that is just pegging out, here's exactly what you're getting as a holder: direct utility, that will be delivered short, medium, and long term for our project, right? It's this community driven A&R process. The thing I didn't mention was live events. It's global live events, small venues with artists from around the world that will be taken to major cities around the world, right? Asia, Europe, America. And your NFT is your pass to that, whether it's a free show or a severely discounted ticket. It's your access point to these live events. And for us, I think if we're going to do the hand-drawn one-of-one PFPs, if we're going to do, community-driven DAO where they get to dictate how that money is spent and we sign on artists onto Hitmaker, if we're going to do live events around the world, I think that's worth something, right? Like, to me, the way I think about a $100 NFT is this. A $100 NFT is like 2 movie tickets, a pack of a bucket of popcorn, and like a t-shirt. Like, is that art and is that experience worth a movie, 2 movie tickets, a popcorn, and a t-shirt? Like, I think it's worth way more than that, right? So for us, I know the meta has typically been the free mints that are subsisting off royalties, and you already know my position there, or very cheap mints that get a lot of people through the door. And I think Web3 as a whole space, I think definitely needs to mature and grow up in terms of pricing what the service is worth or pricing what the product is worth, right? Like, we talked about Balenciaga and Kanye West and Adidas, at the beginning of our conversation. And those brands take hundreds of millions of data points before pricing a shoe. And I know this because I made a whole living off doing that for a little while. And I think Web3 is like one of the few places where that is not necessarily true, the majority of the time. And so for us, myself as a founder and our team strongly believes that the product that we are providing, from art, from experience to being part of that community, is worth the price, that we're going to peg on it. It's not going to be absolutely egregious, right? It's not an ETH by any means. It's not even close to an ETH, but it's definitely going to be, beyond $150. So that's where the pricing will sit, and the exact pricing guidance will be given probably closer to 3 weeks out from mint, just so we get as close to an ETH peg as possible.
Cool. Okay. Do you guys already have any like sneak peeks of the art, or is that to come at a later date as well?
Yeah, actually, funny enough, the project's been done since before I released that first teaser on Twitter in June. So the entire project's done, from the music to the art to the NFTs,
really?
Marketing assets. Yeah, it's been.
So are these the posters that you're talking about, or no?
No, those are just manga panels.
Okay, just manga panel. Okay.
Yeah, so the posters are closer. If you want to scroll to the artist concept art at the very bottom, that is like the super high fidelity, like manga webtoon art that were inspired this project. Yeah, if you click those, and they're very high detailed. The colorizing, the saturation, the details all on point there.
Yeah.
And
so these are generative?
No, all hand drawn. Each of these took 3 months to draw, and we have a massive art team in house. And so the posters are all of a higher quality than this. Like, it's seriously something that like Attack on Titan or One Piece would use to advertise.
I watch both of those as well.
Okay, there you go.
I mentioned some surface level ones, but I'll watch a few of those too. Attack on Titan was actually one of my favorites.
Dude, I just finished it for the first time. I've watched all 50 something episodes in like one go, and dude, that shit blew my mind. But the art quality is of the same art quality that those big ticket animes would use to advertise their shows of the next season.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's it's very similar to this style. But the other panels you showed, it's more manga panels. That is just providing insight into the story as a whole, right? Like how the producers and artists met, how they're discovered, and things like that.
That's awesome.
Nice. So you mentioned if somebody burns their NFT, they get actual physical signed copy, real poster. Do they lose, since they burnt it and lost the NFT? Do they lose the right to get like access to the concerts, all these activations that NFT will provide?
Not at all. If you burn the poster, you're getting a one-of-one hand-drawn profile picture. So that's where the profile picture meta comes back, right? Mm-hmm. You just have the option to do the profile picture. And I know profile pictures now are sort of the digital representation for your internet persona. And the way I look at it is, I've seen so many generative art collections, and if I'm going to be real, right, there are some exceptions, don't get me wrong, but I typically am of the belief that like the bottom 85% of generative art collections are nowhere near as cool as the one-of-ones and the PFPs that were used as marketing assets. And so I want holders, if they want to use Hitmaker to be their digital representation of their online profile, I want their PFP to be amazing. Like I want it to be as good as the marketing assets. And really the only way to ensure that quality control is to draw every single one by hand. And so if you hold that poster in your wallet for a certain period of time, you then have the option to, you're not forced to, you have the option to essentially burn that poster to redeem a hand-drawn 1-of-1 PFP, and the utility will roll over.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I missed that PFP part. I thought you meant like hand-drawn, real, physical is what I thought I heard.
No worries there. I mean, we're going to have a lot of physical goods as part of this stuff. I mean, we're going to do posters. We're going to do all that stuff in the 9 yards, but we'll be revealing that post-mint.
Would you be able to divulge your lead artist for this?
Yeah, we'll be revealing the artist soon, but as you can tell, the art quality is pretty insane. And this artist we poached from one of the biggest, if not one of the biggest gaming companies in China. And we brought him in-house. And he is just a magician at the 2D art style, right? Like, he has drawn art for some of the biggest AAA games that have released. And so, he's actually been in our Discord just under an alt account. But we will be revealing him as well. And he is working with an art team of about 8 or 9 other people as well. They're like more junior visual artists. So they help color, they help do details, but this guy really sets the tone for the visual language.
Heck yeah, that's all, man.
Did he draw the smiley face or what?
So the smiley faces were drawn by a different person. And the reason why we did those smiley faces is really just to have like stark contrast to the high quality art, right? Like I wanted.
Oh, so there's a thought process behind that one. Okay, because I see that. I was like,
this is the hand drawn PFPs that he's talking about.
Imagine
for those that are tuning in right now.
This took 3 months to draw. Pixel by pixel.
The coloring and the texture was very difficult.
Yeah, no. So there was real thought behind how we did everything. My co-founder Calvin is just a genius when it comes to the meticulousness of what we set out to do. But I don't know did you guys ever watch that Netflix show, Love, Death, and Robots?
Of course, every episode.
Okay, amazing. It's basically this super bleak future, almost like nihilist show on kind of like the outlook of humanity.
Absolutely. I love the freezer episode where they that's like on the first season where they
where they open the freezer and there's the civilization is developing and
and every time that, to give you context, they open the freezer and there's like a civilization developing in their freezer, and every time they close it and reopen it, it's like hundreds of years went by. So they're like the gods of like basically, or the outside of everything that's in the freezer. The show is just very like you said, dystopia,
like Black Mirror type.
It's similar to Black Mirror, honestly. Yeah, very similar to Black Mirror.
Exactly. So with that context, do you remember the logo? It's basically LDR, and then it has a typeface of like the robot, the love, and then the skull. And if you want to pull that up, we were really inspired by that because I feel like that visual language was so starkly contrast to like the dystopic, the dystopic themes of that entire show. It's like cute, and then the show is about how messed up humanity.
Is this I think just this one, right? Is that like
for Love, Death,
Love and Robots?
Love, Death, and Robots.
Oh, that's death.
Out there.
You did, yeah. Are any of these the one you're talking about? Is it
exactly? That's exactly it. That's exactly
okay, good. Yeah. Yeah, super simplistic theme to it, and then it like rotates out, and sometimes they have other images, but very good show. I would definitely recommend. I think we're losing you again.
Yeah, we're your internet kind of froze unless you're doing the freeze challenge.
I gotta clip that for our thumbnail. Did you freeze too, Ken? Whoa, this is weird. Am I alone?
I try to get. Nah, I didn't freeze.
You did freeze.
I got you.
Oh,
no, I didn't.
Nah. You did get me. Damn.
We're back.
Yeah, I got you. I got you on that one.
My
you got both of us. Okay. No worries. What were you talking about? The inspiration with the robots?
Yeah, so this is so cute relative to what the show's about. And for us, we wanted to make like the smiley faces and the very like messy paintbrush style to basically be the opposite of what the art quality is and what the story is about. And so you see like this was drawn in paint in like 2.5 seconds, right? Like it's so easy. And I think we wanted this to be a way for us to really capture an almost different version of the art. And so we drew custom smiley faces for all the members of the team, and so this will play a role into our typography. These smiley faces exist on all my decks, on all of the watermarks, on all of the manga. I mean, they'll play a role into this story for sure, but it's just to have contrast in terms of art style. But good observation, man.
Nice. Do you believe that we as humans are inside a refrigerator?
That's there's been moments in my life where I'm like, dude, we're totally living in the simulation, right? Like I feel like everyone
Mm.
has to have had those moments where you're like, this is totally a simulation. Where like I'll dream something and then the next day that dream happens. I'm like, whoa, that is like that's way too real. I don't know if it's if it's a refrigerator because I live in LA and it's pretty damn hot to be a fridge.
Yeah.
You got
But
no
Microwave.
battery in your
Got
refrigerator, bro.
microwave.
yeah, just maybe one of those shitty ones, right? That's from like 1942. That's like has terrible insulation or something. But maybe it's a simulation. I don't know, man. There's been some weird events where like I've dreamt something and that exact same dream happened the next day, and I'm like, that shouldn't be okay. Like that's not
Deja
okay.
vu.
I think
Yeah,
it also just shows like if there are other dimensions, how like relative time is, because like the humans that were in that episode, like they didn't know all that time was going by. They just like peeked in and looked at them, then closed it, and then peeked back in, and then like hundreds of years went by. But like it's because there's two different timelines.
Mm.
exactly, exactly.
This is super
So
relevant to the to hit makers.
No,
To
no,
see
no,
like
dude. These are all things that even there's pop culture, man. This is it's all in the same genre.
yeah, we're here to knock you off your game, man. That's how we're gonna hit you left ball questions just
Good,
to
good.
get you
I'm
off your
ready.
script real quick.
I'm on a 55 AMA tour right now, and I think like the
I
ones.
Mm,
saw that. Yeah, dude. It's right here, man. I was like,
jeez.
what even, man?
Yeah, so we're
That's
doing this tour. I'm trying to talk to as many communities about Hitmaker as possible. And honestly, the most fun ones are the ones that aren't routine, right? It's not the same.
yeah.
Tell me about yourself and then your project. It's like the stuff like this, right? Where it's like, then tell me about Kanye and let's talk about Love, Death, and Robots. Like these are the ones that I remember. These are the fun ones.
I think it's
Oh,
also good, my opinion is it's good to like get yourself like a little bit of your background out there, that way like some people come to know you, develop that community a little bit deeper, and I think that's pretty cool too. I mean, we talk about like not having docs founders versus docs founders all the time, and not only are you docs, you're out here,
Yeah,
showing yourself, talking,
hustling.
hanging out. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, you
You're
are.
on tour.
I'm on tour. I'm gonna get those tour dates tatted on my neck or something, right? Just to
Oh my
relive
You
those
goodness.
might as
moments.
well. You got a bunch of tats. So what's the very first thing you do after sellout? Like in your plans, like what would be the first move? What like go buy a house and go for a mental health
Get
break
out of
or
here. Get out of here.
I'm not. You think I'm doxxed now? This is it.
yeah, those guys usually don't get docs, but yeah,
Yeah.
so what would be your first point of action?
Yeah. So, post mint, I think it's going to be a combination of things. I'm actually going to head out to Asia right after we mint, to really set up some very
What
immediate
country?
next, Japan and Korea.
Okay.
So, we have, Hiro, our producer, his real, that's his just character name, but the real producer in real life is really, a big player in the Japanese music industry. So we're going to be going out there to really set up infrastructure, for some really exciting live events, artist collaborations, and opportunities that Hitmaker has in Japan, that will make sense for the entire community and the entire ecosystem. So we're going to go there nearly right after mint. If not, I will be in Japan for mint. Um, and in terms of next steps, it's really getting together, the next phase, right? I really want to give the music 60-day push. So the day we release the music, that's kind of when the music marketing starts. So, we get to basically push the song for 45 to 60 days, and then we prepare for phase 2. But yeah, I mean, it's nonstop for us. We have a lot of partnerships in place that we will be starting to reveal like right before mint and then post mint, that I think will drive some excitement and really show off that, like, hey, we have this lofty goal of a music anime, of original music and character driven, NFTs. Like, how are you going to pull all that off? And I think it's our team plus a lot of these advisors and partners that we've brought on board that will make all of that a reality. So it'll be very exciting, very stressful, right? Like, I think I'm going to try to take a day or 2 off, just to have a mental health reset. But I think then you just hit the ground running.
Don't say that, bro. Don't. We get that a lot, man. A lot of undoxed founders, they after sell out, they go for a mental health break after they buy
But they
a
don't
$4
come
million
back.
house. Yeah,
Yeah,
but they
they
got a
take it.
house though.
Yeah. You'll see that my favorite one is the classic, like, I'll be back in a week. Dude, their Instagram story is the most lit I've ever seen it, right? They're partying in Dubai, and then they're in South America, and then they're in Europe, and then it's like,
Oh, Chris
whoa,
knows.
that was a crazy week that you took off. And they come back home, they have a Lamborghini and a single family home, and you're like, got it.
Time to start.
Yeah.
Time to start building.
Yep.
Got him.
And it starts now.
So, how do people that are watching this? How do they get involved? Like, is there any? Are you guys going to be giving away? Do you have an allow list? Is there something they can? Ken likes to like really work for allow list. So, is there something Ken can do to like get on this?
This guy, he likes to go the
Can
alternative.
can I send you in a solo of me singing to like maybe get on that list?
Oh,
Or,
heck yeah. I'd love to see that. That's totally
He'll
worth an
do
allow
it
list.
too.
Are you kidding?
He will do it.
I fully only if I get to choose the song, right? So it could be in another language. It could be Britney Spears. I mean, as long as I get to choose a song and you're down to sing it, dude, I'm down. I'm super
Brand,
down.
he will. We have proof of him popping his back for whitelist months ago, man. He will show us the video though.
I've been watching One Punch Man. I'll do the theme song. One Punch.
Hey man, ain't no shame in the game. You know what I mean? Ain't no shame in the game. shake your booty for a whitelist or an allow list.
Hey,
it is.
He was popping his back, man, heavy. He probably had to go to the doctor after, man. You should have seen him, man. The Project Rug too.
Yeah,
it's just crazy.
We're not gonna talk about that. That's way back.
Man, you pop your back for free, basically.
Yeah.
No. You paid them to pop your back.
Yeah,
he did. He did. So, do you guys have any allow list raffles going on right now on the Discord, or how can people get that?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's 3 ways to get an allow list. The first one is I launched a collection in 2021 called Lucky Zeros. It's these like really cute 3D animal avatars.
Lucky Zeros.
Yeah, and the floor is still held pretty strong. We're at like a 0.14 floor. That's a tongue twister. Despite the bear market. And if you own one of those NFTs, that's the first folks that will be getting able to mint, and those folks are automatically getting one whitelist spot. The reason for that is, look, like, that community's been with me for almost a year now, and we're nothing without them. They've supported us through the entirety of building Lucky Zeros. We're still building Lucky Zeros. Now they're supporting us building Hitmaker. And so that community from now until infinity will be rewarded by myself and my co-founders with any new thing or any new project we build. So the first way to get a whitelist is scoop up one of the floor Lucky Zeros and boom.
These right here, right? I'm on the right.
Exactly. So I'm pretty pumped for that. So that's the first way. Second way is, win a giveaway, right? Like, but that's all based on luck, right? Like, win one of the giveaways with the collaborative partners, right? You win one of those, you're getting on the whitelist. And then, the third way is points in Discord. And so, I'm as a person, as a human being, I'm so lazy. Like, I would never grind for a whitelist, nor would I ever apply for an application to be on a whitelist.
Pop your back?
I would, dude, I'd pop my back for other reasons. I don't think I would pop my back for a whitelist if I'm going to be real, right?
This guy right here, bro. This guy.
Hey, again, no shame in the game, right? That's just me. I'm just talking about me. I would pop my back for a variety of different reasons. Whitelist does not fall under one of them, at least for me.
And you had to record it too and send off the tape.
Oh, dude, I'll pawn my back. I probably have to pawn my back in Japan, and I'll give you guys the exclusive on that recording.
Ah, yes.
But look, like in the spirit of anti-grind culture, right? We wanted to do something fun for the community. So I've had a Discord community private for the last almost 9 to 10 weeks. We manually invited 1,400 people to that Discord community. And we've been doing games and activities around pop culture Monday through Friday, right? So Monday is we're streaming, anime, or we're streaming TV shows, or we're streaming, Genius, the documentary, right? Anything to do with music or pop culture. Tuesday, we do a pop culture quiz, and they're very, very competitive. Like if you win first, second, or third place on the quiz, you get a whitelist. But I also compete, and I almost always come in first. At least 1, 2, or 3. So you have,
That's not fair.
Wrecking people.
I don't create the quizzes. My mods create the quizzes, and they don't tell me about it. But I'm competitive, man. And so no such thing as a free lunch, right? So
This guy.
Bro, if I've been grinding and I come in second to you, I'd be pissed.
It's rigged.
And so pop culture quizzes. Wednesdays we do studio AMAs. Thursday we do community gaming, and then Fridays I do a DJ set. So the community submits songs every single week, and I listen to every single song, and I put together a playlist. And we listen to that playlist together. We go through New Music Friday on Spotify and Apple, and then we just talk about what happened in pop culture during the week. And so if you show up to an event, you're getting 5 points. And if you show up and you engage and you participate, you're getting 10 points. And the magic number is 69 points, right? That's Web3's favorite number, 69 points.
420, 69, 420.
Exactly, 69, 420.
And I can't pop in chat and be like, hey, what's up? Hi, how's it going?
Well, if it's that, and then you're actively participating in the game, you're getting 10 points. So you can see basically in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you can get a whitelist if you really want to. So it's just a fun way. And honestly, I always tell my teams, like, dude, like if I wasn't the CEO of this stuff and I didn't have to go on this AMA tour and I wasn't having to like have all these meetings and do operations and stuff, dude, I would totally just like do games because they're so fun. Like I get the most joy every day by doing those community games. I'm not even gonna lie. And so that's the third way to win a whitelist. 69 points in the Discord. So pretty straightforward and pretty simple.
Okay, so we are running to the end of the show right now. I only have one last question. I don't know if Chris, you have a question after this. I just wanted to know, what was your first tattoo and did it hurt?
Funny enough, my first tattoo is actually oh shoot, maybe that's too doxing. Anyways, they're the zip codes of all the places I've ever lived.
Really?
Yeah, so it's like 6 or 7 zip codes now. And they're all the places I've ever lived growing up. And I got that tattoo when I was like 20, 21 years old. And it didn't really hurt. And then I started getting more tattoos, and some places hurt it more than others. Like I went and I thought I was going to do a whole mural on my back, and I got one back tattoo, and I said, I'm never doing that again. Like that hurt like crazy. And now I have, my arms, my chest, my leg. I have a Pokemon sleeve on my legs. Like
Really?
Oh, I'm a Pokemon. I love Pokemon. Is my life.
Which one?
I have. Oh, there. I got
here. I'll show the original Burger King golden card.
Dude, there you go. Without doxing my toes, I'm gonna see if I can show.
Man.
I have Rayquaza right here.
Like, dude, Emerald was so good. Such a good classic advanced game.
And on the other side of my leg, I have like Moltres, Articuno, and Ho-Oh.
That's sick.
Oh,
dude.
wow.
That's so sick.
So Pokemon really inspired my life, man. I was obsessed with that show.
I even got, this is my AirPod case.
There you go, dude. Good to see another fellow Pokemon master. You know what I mean?
Nerd of the year right here.
I love Pokemon, dude. Seriously, it's like one of my favorite.
Yeah, I have a Yu-Gi-Oh card right here. This is Injection Fairy Lily. Yeah, like this is a Yu-Gi-Oh card. Injection Fairy Lily. So I mean, I'm an anime. I love that stuff, man. And then now that I'm an adult and I have money, I can just do silly things to my body, right? My parents can't tell me no anymore. It's over.
Yeah, that is true. Did the shins hurt?
Being too asked, I went all out for mine.
Oh man.
Oh wow.
Hold on. Let's see. I
That,
can't
that was
see
my
it real
that was
quick.
my
Yeah,
first
yeah.
Try
one.
again. Do it again. Let me see.
Yeah, go big, go
I didn't
big.
see it.
Putting my leg up on the thing. It's kind of hard to see.
Is that a bow?
It's a
No,
flower.
it's a coffee plant.
Wow.
It's probably my internet might be a little because it's
Yeah, it's kind of hard to
it's a
like
little blurry.
put it up. Oh, it's all good.
That's
But yeah,
awesome.
I got a almost a full calf tattoo. As
Of
my
a
first one.
coffee plant.
Yeah, for my first tattoo.
You
Yo,
are Chris
Ken's
Coffee.
mad
What
judging
the
there, bro.
hell? What the hell?
Full color, bro. Like
Of a
details and
coffee
all.
plant.
Coffee plant, man.
Is there any
Okay.
inspiration behind it?
I like coffee.
His name is Chris Coffee.
Oh, there you go.
He has a
Nah,
coffee
bro,
shop and everything.
Yeah, I have a coffee shop and a lot of my I have a lot of history with coffee. So
Chris, I need to pick your brain about coffee. I've been wanting to open a coffee shop. So I go to Korea a lot for music work. And I don't know if you've ever been there, but the coffee culture in Korea is out of this fucking world. Like there's a hip coffee shop on like every corner and like multiple coffee shops on the same block. And and I think anyone from Korea can attest to this. They are the most epic coffee shops on planet Earth. Like there's ones with like clouds hanging from the ceiling. There's ones with just aquariums all over the coffee shop. There's ones with like flowers all over. Like they're both a florist and a coffee shop. Like that culture is insane. And I've been really wanting to bring a concept like that in a very cost-effective way and bring the right bean water into America and sell it there. So I'd love to pick your brain on that because that's definitely something that's top of
absolutely.
mind.
I also roast coffee, so I supply coffee shops with coffee. So if you ever do that, hit
Dude,
me
where are you
up.
based?
I'm based in Louisiana, so
Oh,
southern
okay.
US.
Okay, cool.
But I can ship.
Yeah, just ship it over.
Yeah, I got a 15 kilo, or I got a 14 kilo roaster, so I can roast 14 pounds at a time, which is like means I can keep up with any skill. Basically.
Wow. All right, hear that, Hitmaker? We're gonna do Hitmaker brand coffee. Let me tell you that. Add that to the utility
Nice.
right now.
Nice. Now, Korean coffee shops in LA are dope, bro. They got fast Wi-Fi. Their teas or something else. Some people hang out there for hours.
Yes.
Like it's crazy.
They opened this one recently called Ryken, RYKN, I think. And dude, there's just a marble slab in the middle of the coffee shop. And you're like,
Really?
what? Yeah, it's the most aesthetic thing ever. I'll send it over to you. And you're like, damn, this is more of a museum than it is a coffee shop.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it must be new because I moved out of LA during the pandemic. So probably 2020, I kind of had to get back closer to family on the East Coast. But yeah, I miss LA, bro. I miss those coffee shops. Those Korean coffee shops are they're the spot to be, man. Next to those gaming shops too. They still got those like game lounges. Like it's wild. Well, I asked all the questions and we are running out of time. Chris, do you have any more or?
Yeah, I got one more. It's super quick, basically yes or no. And then we'll dip. I kind of got a heart out today. Do you or any of the team plan on being at any future NFT events, like in real life events? Like we have Art Basel coming up November. And then we have like the NFT NYC, and then I'm sure LA would be closer for you. So yeah.
Yeah, I will be. Art Basel, I'm trying to make work with our mint schedule. I'm hoping to get out there. And NFT NYC and all the other various events. I try to do my best to show up to as much of those as possible, whether we do a panel and I'm talking about music and Web3, or we're just there for meeting with partners and investors and things like that. So cool. Yeah, I'll do my best to be out there a lot this year for sure.
Sweet. I think we might be at Art Basel, so.
Then we should totally link. We might be doing a joint music event with some cool folks. So
that'd be sick.
We'll talk in Discord, but it should be really sick. So I'll give you the deets and the invite.
Heck yeah, man. Sweet. Well, awesome. It was so good to have you on. Learn about Hitmaker, learn about what you guys are doing.
Boss Brand. Round of applause again for you, man. Thank you for stopping through, man. I really appreciate you.
Guys, this was so much fun. I appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome hosts. This was like top 3 AMA that I've done. Dude, you guys are dude, top 3. Like probably top 2.
That would be top 2 and not 2, bro.
Hey, little break reference there, though. Hey, what's up?
Oh my goodness.
No, this is so fun, guys. Thank you so much again. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for coming. If you ever would like to come back and next year after the Mint, which is almost next year, December than January. Is talk about how the Mint went, talk about where it's going, talk about plans, all that. Stage is yours. Just hit us up. Ninjalerts and Hitmaker is partnered, so we'll make it happen. Thanks everybody for watching. All the viewers on Twitter, YouTube, Discord, wherever you came from. Thank you so much for watching. Monday through Thursday, 1 p.m. Eastern time, every single week. We'll see you guys next week. Peace out, everybody.